Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here from the Visionetics Institute, coming at you with another segment of 5 Minutes of Fire. For those of you who are up and already moving around, I hope that you have taken the time to get your day started on the right foot. You know how important it is to win the first hour. When you win the first hour, you establish the best possibility of winning the day. There's a saying that say how you start your day is how you finish the day. That's not quite completely the truth. How you start the day will dictate how you live the day, and how you live the day will have a massive impact on how you end your day. The key focus in that entire truth is living. So many of us are not living our lives. We are surviving it. We're just trying to make it through the day. We're just trying to get through the day. We're just trying to deal with whatever's on the table today. And we are finding ourselves really not getting the most out of life. And so it's important that you start your day with the right mindset, with being in the right state, with the foundation of gratitude, with a level of anticipation and expectation of meeting challenges successfully through the day, because the challenges are going to come. The resistance of life and the pushback of life is going to be a consistent reality, but how you face it and how you stand up against it will determine your movement and your progression in life, or the lack thereof. So it's immensely important that you start your day with a mindset that prepares you to do the best you possibly can, that prepares you to live life. And with that being said, I just want to take a real brief moment to talk to you about the importance of understanding the power you have to change your current situation, your current condition, your current reality. The problem that I've seen when it comes to people who have these histories of stagnancy and disruption, and that there's nothing that you can see in their life that has any indication of progression, is that they tend to play by the rules of the paradigms passed on to them by others. They tend to play by the rules given to them by those who may benefit from their lack of productivity. They tend to play a game and by the rules of a game that does not benefit them, and they never ever give any consideration to the possibility of changing the game. When asked about, some of the things he was going after, and the word impossible was introduced, Muhammad Ali says impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who would rather accept the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. And he goes on to talk about what impossible is not. And at the end of the day, at the end of the quote, he says impossible is actually nothing. And in that first statement, that impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to accept the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is simply an excuse used by people who aren't willing to be committed to doing something different and at a level that will change the current condition. It's easy to say that it can't be done, because then you're not held responsible and accountable for making it happen. It's something interesting. Obviously, in what I do a great deal of research and study, examining extant data and information, as well as doing my own studies and works to gain an understanding of a lot of different things. And man, wow, almost 40 years ago, MIT did a study in which they took 2,000 of the graduating class of that year and got them to participate in a voluntary study. And the study was a twofold study, or a two-part study. And in this study, the first part of it was the examination of the state of mind. And they asked a lot of questions. They were looking at it. And one thing that they found is, you have basically two types of people when it comes to how life is viewed. Now, you have the variations of the two, but it boils down to the pessimist and the optimist, right? And what they found is that the pessimist actually viewed life through a lens that allowed them to see things more accurately, while the optimists tend to see things through a rose-colored lens, that the optimists always saw things better than they were. And you would think with the optimists seeing things better than they were, you would be able to say that the pessimist always sees things worse than they are. But the truth of the matter is they found that when you had things that could be measured, the pessimists saw things pretty much close to the way they were. Now, so they said, okay, so their observation of what was really in front of them was clearer and more accurate than that of the optimist. But what they did is they brought them back 20 years later to complete the study. And what they found is all of the surviving members of that 2,000, they brought it back. And what they found is, with almost to a man, something like 97, 98%, they found that the optimists fared much better in their life. They were significantly farther ahead in progressing in life, and in every area of life where you would look at it and consider it success. They were experiencing it at a much higher level than those who were the pessimists, who really saw things just as they were. So it went to close out an idea that has been held for some time, and now we're starting to see the scientific results, that your mind has the capacity to write a new reality, a reality that's better than the reality you're living, when you are willing to engage it. But you have to be willing to change the game. Too many people are living by rules and playing in games that don't benefit them, because those are the rules they were given. They were told that this is what you had to do, or this is why you can't get this done, and you'll never be able to do this. And you're facing all these different challenges in life, and you're trying to play by rules that aren't benefiting you, when you have the capacity to change the game. Not just change the rules, but change the game. If it's not working for you, you are not required to continuously function in it or operate in it. This whole lot in life mentality is really taking generation after generation and keeping them suppressed and under the finger and thumb of a selected few, solely based on the idea that this is what I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to do. And if I'm ever going to do anything different, there's this road or this path that I have to travel through. And if I can't get through that road, then I'm stuck. Change the game. It was Alvin Toff that said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn in consistent fashion. That is what's happening right now, is that there are things that are changing. If it's not working for you now, change it. If it's not working for you now, research a new way. If it's not working for you now, find a way that you can benefit from the situation you're in, benefit from new relationships, benefit from a new strategy, benefit from a new way of thinking, benefit from being a person who understands your value, your worth, despite your condition. Stop allowing your condition to define you. Stop allowing where you've come from to define you. Stop allowing the random opinion of others to define you. Define yourself by the totality of your existence, meaning look at your design, look at your potential, look at look at the way you're able to think. When you take all of the psychological chains and and shackles off your mind and allow your mind to really roam. Think of some of the things that flows through it, and then you quickly put the shackles back on because you become uncomfortable and you don't want to get yourself all hyped up about something that you're probably never going to experience. So you go back over into this false state of reality, because reality is what you make it, not what you see. The first state of reality is the interpretation of the current situation. And you got different people that will take the same situation and make something different out of it because their realities were different. They interpreted it different. If you're interpreting something and you're always sitting at the back, remember the pessimist saw the situation as it was, but the optimist took what was worse than they thought it was and made it even better than they even thought it was. You can shy away from the reality of your mindset all you want, but at some particular point in time in life, you're going to either become a casualty of not guarding your gate and selectively toiling the garden of your mind, or you're going to come to a reality. I've got to do something different. I got to change my thinking. I got to renew my mind. I've got to grow in my idea of what is, so that I can produce something greater, something different, something better. I have a responsibility. And the thing is, you have a responsibility more than yourself. Don't be the one who passes on the junk that somebody passed on to you to the next generation. That is the thing that really, really concerns me more than anything, is that we are consistently passing on multi-generational defeat based on the defeat that was passed on to us and the mindset that was passed on to us. You know, I mean, it's about living. So with that, I'm going to leave you. I've got some things I've got to get to. This is a very busy day for me. But don't forget that we're doing the rapid change breakthroughs. Oh, and I'll be announcing this a couple of more times during the day. But for the next 9 hours, I am offering, for the first 3 people who are willing to sign up and actually initiate the form, meaning that you have to pay by 3:00 p.m. today, I'm offering my bronze and my silver coaching packages at 50%. That is like, I'll do a lot of promos, but when it comes to cutting prices, I've just learned it doesn't really work that well. But there are some people out there who I really believe could benefit from it, and I hope that they will take advantage of it. I'll explain the conditions and the rules. This isn't a watered down version of what someone else is getting. This is the full force of what a full paying customer gets. But there are rules that every person I work with has to understand. But if you're willing, between 9 and 3 o'clock, my bronze and my silver coaching packages, email me at lifechange@rickwallacephd.link. The email address is in the post as well. But 3 o'clock is the deadline for that, and I'm taking the first 3 people. And if nobody takes advantage of it, all good. But it ends at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we can be very clear. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. With that being said, look, I'm out here. You guys have an unbelievable day. Peace.